Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Right, hello everybody. Welcome back to Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410. As we broadcast live here from Studio 14, we're serving you, the Fox River Valley area. Remember, we are on YouTube, youtube.com/WRMN Radio. Don't forget, you can hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so that you always are in tune, up to date, and in the loop with what's happening here in the Fox River Valley. What's going on here also on WRMN AM 1410. Now, as we all know here, of course, Paramount Theater in Aurora is a fantabulous, fantastic, and fabulous place to go to when it comes to performance arts and more. You can check out so many different performances that are out there. And, of course, you don't want to miss out on an award-winning one that is known as, of course, Cats the musical, the ever so fantastic musical that's out there, from characters like Jenny Anydots to Rum Tum Tugger. There's that rock star rebel there of the alley there. It's definitely wild, unpredictable, and oh so irresistible. It'll definitely get your hip shaking moves and cheeky attitude put together. Get ready to laugh, cheer, and maybe swoon a little with this performance of Cats the musical, still going on now at Paramount Theater in Aurora. And I want to welcome two very special guests who are here today joining us live from the Zoom side of things. We have here Tiffany and Christopher. Thank you so much for joining us today. How's everybody doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty well.
Well, thank you.
Awesome. So Tiffany and Christopher, we'll start off here with both of you. Tell us a little bit on your characters in this performance of Cats the Musical. Whoever would like to start first can.
Okay, I play Mr. Mistoffelees in Cats the Musical. He's a magician cat. That's sort of what his circus trick is. He's the magician in the ring. And I don't want to give too much of the plot of Cats away, but in the end of Act 2, I sort of save the day by bringing someone back that we need in the show.
Awesome, very cool. And Tiffany?
I play Bombalurina, which is, she's half of a sister duo, Bombalurina and Demeter, who perform a song about a mysterious cat named McCavity.
Very cool. Oh my goodness. I'm excited for this. This is fantastic. So of course, for many of you know out there, for the listeners out there, Paramount Theater has really become like a powerhouse for regional theater, even winning a Jeff Award for Best Large Musical. So tell us a little bit here too. What does that mean to you as performers on a stage with that kind of reputation? I think it's fantastic.
It's amazing. So I grew up in Oswego, and which is the town right next to Aurora. And so in high school, I did a community theater production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which happened to be on the Paramount stage, but this was long before they started their Broadway series. So even then, it was very cool. And then so it's really cool now as an adult to come back and be a part of this incredible programming that they've had going now over the past, 13 years or so.
Oh, that's so cool. I did the Joseph for my school when I was in sophomore year. So it's definitely a really great musical. So I had a great time with it.
Joseph is a rite of passage for all musical theater performers.
It sure is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just like Tiffany, I grew up in Flossmoor, which is a suburb like south. And I also grew up going to see shows at the Paramount at Marriott and at Drury Lane. And so that was always the dream of mine, to perform at these theaters. And even when I started performing, the first show that I did at the Paramount was Wizard of Oz, and that was in 2018. So just the amount of growth that the theater has had, and even just those last 7 years, and also just like the growth of the community around the theater has been so amazing. Like even just like getting lunch on a break, when I first started, there were like 4 options, and now there's like so many different breweries and restaurants, and I mean, it's just like so cool to see how the theater has impacted the community around it.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And there's so much that you can find at Paramount Theater, but also too, of course, when it comes to the performing side of things, you get to make so many great connections and great friendships along the way too, because you're all working together in the same atmosphere, and you get to really show that on stage, of course, as it is performing there. I want to talk a little bit about some of the choreography here. Of course, it's famously demanding. So how do you prepare physically and mentally for a show like this when it comes to choreography?
Well, I'm still figuring that out, honestly. It is truly the hardest thing I've ever done. And the hardest part is sort of the in between. It's like not the hard dancing that we're doing. It's like walking around like a cat in between the hard dancing that we're doing. That's where my body is starting to hurt, and where I notice that I'm in a lot of pain and I'm tired.
Yeah.
But so we just opened this past Friday. And I think now, and like notoriously tech and previews going into opening, that's sort of the most difficult part of the process. I'm very excited to now be like well into the run and sort of figure out how I can pace my body a little bit better. And normally like it takes like 30 to 45 minutes max to get ready for a show. This one takes like a good 2 hours. And so it's a retraining of the brain and trying to be the healthiest version of yourself possible, like for the last 3 weeks and probably for the next 5 weeks for the rest of the run. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I'm thinking how I can best take care of myself to do the show well. Which is an adjustment to make.
Oh, it's very important to make sure that you can balance that as well too.
Christopher is an incredible dancer, and I don't want to give too much away, but he has a giant dance feature in the show. And it's honestly a little comforting to hear that you're also in pain, because so am I, and I don't do as much as you do. So.
Tell us a little bit also about the singing when it comes to Cats too. How do you vocally perform for that? What are some techniques that you do to help make sure that your voice, of course, doesn't strain? Because someone who did musical performances, I know that there were a couple things that we were told to do just so that we could keep our voice.
I love doing a warm-up with a straw, which is something a lot of singers do. I have these tiny little metal straws that I will sing through. And it's a certain technique that I'm not going to go into the science of it, but that really helps me to warm up, and it helps me to keep consistency and to keep from burning out vocally. And there's actually a ton of singing in this show. And so, it just keeps me going throughout the whole show, so I don't have a lot of breaks. So like my voice can stay solid.
Yeah, there you go.
Throw the praise right back at Tiffany. She is singing so well in the show. One of the parts where I just sort of am not dancing and walking around like a cat, like I just mentioned, I actually get the privilege to listen to Tiffany sing one of the best songs written for musical theater. And the show is also such a deceptively hard sing as well, which no one is talking about. No one is talking about how hard the show is. And so it's incredible to watch the company that we have, because the material is so challenging and everyone is making it look so easy.
Yeah, I might be a little,
and a curse.
Yes, I might be a little biased, but I think this might be the best sung Cats that you will ever see, for sure.
I love it. Awesome, yeah. Awesome. Folks, that's Paramount Theater in Aurora. If you want to check out more information, that's ParamountAurora.com for more info. Now, I have to say here, too, the costumes and the makeup are quite fantastic. I've even got a picture here. It's quite fantastic there. The makeup, of course, and the costumes. How do you prepare for such an exquisite amount of costume and makeup while also still maintaining character and posture? Of course, as we know, going into theater, there's a lot of this that the makeup and it can be challenging at times. So how long does it take to usually do the makeup and costume?
It varies from person to person. Some people have more detailed makeup than others. I know some people are getting there 2 hours early to start their makeup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it definitely does take some time. I'm sure it's nice to then you go home and you can just take it off and you're like, okay.
Oh yeah. Jump right in the shower and
Yep.
Yeah. It's nice to leave it at the, like, you can't really take it home with you because
Right.
you look completely different when you get home. It's
Yeah.
nice.
It really is another layer to navigate, though. Like, it took me a while to get used to having all that makeup and all of the beautiful the costumes are gorgeous, but it's a lot. It's not every day as a performer you're wearing fur and a unitard and full face of makeup and then performing the hardest show that you've ever done. So that was another layer of having to get used to.
What I think is really cool also are the sets that are in this performance as well too. I mean, they're just absolutely magnificent. Are you able to kind of see when they do put all of the sets together as well, or are you more so kind of behind the scenes and then you get surprised when the upcoming performances do arrive?
What's like my favorite part of working at the Paramount is I almost forget, like, every time I do a show that when I walk into the theater for the first time, it's going to be one of the most amazing sets I've ever seen in my life, like Broadway, otherwise. It's just, the amount of access and the amount of stuff that they have to work with at the Paramount is incredible. And I don't think people understand like how that is the best thing that you'll ever see. So no, we don't really have any part in it before we see it. There's a day that we go into the theater for the first time right before we start what's known as the tech process, where we kind of see it for the first time. And then the tech elements get a week and a half or so to sort of lock in with what we're doing. And then we go from there. But it's incredible. That day where everyone just sort of comes together and sees what the other side of things has been working on is always so special. It's so nice.
Absolutely. What I think is really great too, of course, Cats has a passionate fan base. So have you had any audience responses? If any particular reactions stood out to you?
Actually, opening night, I felt like I was Taylor Swift at the Eras Tour. It was
I love it.
the loudest, most enthusiastic audience I've ever experienced in my entire theater career. And it was so energizing, and I will take that with me for the rest of my life. It was so cool.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think what's great too is the performance does go until I believe it's June 15th. So there's lots of time. There's plenty of time for people to check out this performance here as well, which is fantastic. To talk a little bit more also on the acting side of things. So how did you first hear about Paramount Theater with the performance of Cats? Was it introduced to you, or was it something that you discovered on your own?
So when you work there, when you're like sort of a performer that you're auditioning to get shows, you just sort of hear things via like your agent, or you'll go to like open calls for shows, and the Paramount will release their season maybe like halfway through the season prior, so you kind of know what shows are going to happen next year. And I am primarily a dance performer. Most of the roles and the work that I've done has been dance related. And it was during Billy Elliot last year that I heard that we were doing Cats, and I was just like, okay, well, I think that's what I want to do next year. So you just sort of get ready and audition for it, and hopefully get asked to do it.
Absolutely. I think it's great too that you get to make so many friends along the way. You get to connect with people. Have you discovered anything about yourself that maybe you didn't before? Maybe a certain talent that you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that I had this when performing this, or even any other performances at Paramount Theater?
Oh, that's
I'm getting good at doing the magic. Oh, sorry, Tiffany. You go.
No, please. I got nothing.
I have a lot of like sleight of hand magic that I'm doing in the show, and I've never done that before, so that's been fun to learn.
That's awesome. So folks tuning in here, definitely check it out. ParamountAurora.com. You can get those tickets. They are available, presented in the Paramount Theater at 23 East Galena Boulevard in Aurora. There are still plenty of dates and times for you to check out. Some of those days are limited availability. So check it out on their website. That's events.ParamountAurora.com. You can get those tickets available online. Thank you so much for joining in. Before we let you guys go, what do you hope people can get out of this experience by watching Cats the Musical?
It is just such an amazing feast for the eyes and the ears, and the talent on the stage is incredible. Honestly, a lot of people love to use the phrase, "Oh, you're not ready." And I actually believe that's true for this. Like, I just think people need to come if you want to be completely overwhelmed with an abs and have your every sense be completely dazzled. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Awesome. Very good. Well, thank you both, Tiffany and Christopher, for being with us here today on WRMN. And folks, definitely check them out. How can people find more information about both of you guys?
You can follow me on Instagram at Christopher J. Kelley. Otherwise, just come see the show. You'll learn all you'll need to know.
Yeah, and I'm on Instagram and TikTok as Tiff Topol.
I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining in here, and best of luck to you continuing on with this magnificent performance.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, that was Tiffany and Christopher joining us here with WRMN AM 1410. Thank you so much for tuning in. And folks, if you want to check out more information, please feel free to visit their website. That is ParamountAurora.com. That's ParamountAurora.com. Check out more information. The tickets are available online. Check out more shows and events. Plan your visit. All good things here at Paramount Theater of Aurora. Jeff recommended that is Cats, going on now until June 15th. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410 here in just a bit.
At Brit